Welcome to episode 7 of 4NZ Gamers. I'm your host, Phil Brooks. Today I am joined by James Jennings, Dave Watson, James Brooks.
Hey.
And we're going to do what we usually do. We get together once a fortnight to have a chat about games and movies, so let's kick into it. So, Ubisoft's conference. They are there as well. They're there every year, and this time we're going to be seeing, I guess, some more Assassin's Creed, and probably some Assassin's Creed.
Do they make anything else?
I think...
That's about it.
So that's my prediction. Moving right along, we've got the Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which has just been revealed. There's The Division, which has just been delayed.
Yep.
Rainbow Six.
Oh, yeah.
That's the huge... that game looks amazing. Have you guys seen any of the footage for that?
Not since the new console release.
Yeah.
No.
But it looks amazing.
It's been a limbo for a while, isn't it? Same as Division. They've been out there for too long.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, eh? Games get announced way too early now.
So I think the problem is, I'm over it. Like, I looked at the Division, I thought, yeah, it looks cool, but after a year, I was just like, oh, what?
Yeah.
I know, well, it's been delayed, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about the delay? Because there seems to be a lot of delays with a lot of these games, and it's either two things. It's either if it doesn't get delayed and they bring it out on time, the game's unfinished, it's crap, it doesn't work well.
Which is likely with Ubisoft.
Yeah, and there seems to be a lot of games that are coming out that are just screwing up, like Halo, the Master Chief Edition, and all this stuff.
Assassin's Creed Unity.
Unity. I think Destiny. No, I think Destiny was okay at launch, but there's a lot of these problems with these games with their online, and some games are just taking that time out. I think it's sweet. Why not just bring out a game that's finished? Sometimes they can be too ambitious with bringing the game out. It's going to come out at this time, and it comes out and it's terrible, and then the company lose money. Nobody wants to buy the game, all that kind of stuff. So I don't mind that there's the delay for the Division. The problem with some delays though is that if the delays get too far, for example, Elder Scrolls, which came out on the PC and then the consoles were supposed to be around the same time, and it screwed up, so they had to delay it because they had so much problems with it.
Yeah.
Only now it's coming out. With the other week we talked about it. It's probably missed the train.
Yeah. I can't, the relevance factor, you lose it after a while. If you're waiting too long and then the game comes out and the excitement that was generated initially was 2-3 years ago, who's going to care? Everyone's going to be on to different things. I think what you've got to do is maybe not announce these things too soon, Like, otherwise people are just going to be like, especially new franchises, I think, is the key. You don't just bring it out, because what's the other one, that Quantum Break?
Quantum Break.
Yeah, we're still waiting on that, and, that looks really good. And I think when it does come out, it's going to be really cool. But if you've got something that's too kind of generic, and I'm kind of looking at The Division as being kind of that, like it's just another open world shooting game, but it will be good. It will have some unique aspects to it. But when it comes out, if there's another game that's similar to it, then you're going to run into trouble. Because then it's not going to be relevant anymore because someone else has already jumped the gun on you. And that has happened before as well.
So are you saying that the delay shouldn't be that far along?
No, I don't think
they should. If they, oh no, actually,
they shouldn't be too premature with announcements.
With their announcements, yes. Yeah.
They should definitely wait until they've got more, closer to the actual release. I think, because I think the Japanese do it really well. Sometimes you don't even know these things are coming until they're there. Although The Last Guardian is very guilty of being delayed now for 10 years.
They'll come out for the C3.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What would you say is like the minimum or the maximum?
A year.
A year, I'd say a year.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get fatigued. You get actual consumer fatigue.
But hardly any company does that though. So why do you think it is that they like to build the hype train so early? They must freaking know that they're 2 or 3 years away from release. So why do they do it? Like, what do they possibly gain from pissing people off?
I think it might be a victim of the new console cycle. Like, they had to build buzz for sales.
Yes,
that's
what it was.
We're kind of on the
so getting pressure,
winding down from the console release, and everyone's like, these games were at least ideas back then, and now we're still like, where are the games?
Yeah.
Yes, very true.
Does it piss you off when games get delayed? Because it doesn't for me.
No, it doesn't.
No, I'm happy
I'd
to
rather
play.
them take the time out to create a.
What pisses me, I agree. I don't mind it because I would rather have that polished product at the end of the day. Take all the time you need, make a great game. But the thing that pisses me off is just the fact that I think, why did you let me know about this a year ago and you gave me like a release date or whatever, and then you pushed that back by another year? Like Arkham Knight said it was coming out last year. And then they released this year. It's like, no way. When they said it was coming out last year, they knew it was nowhere near coming out last year. You know, and that's what pisses me off is that they literally lied. And for what reason?
Make more DLC.
Yeah.
I mean, really, when you look at how much there is. Witcher 3 had the same thing, no? It was supposed to be released earlier this year in February, but it was pushed back to May. But that's not a long time.
No,
That's
see,
not a
that's not
long
a
time.
long time, and that's just extra polish and blah, blah, blah.
and
6
it's- and it's-
months max, I think, in terms of delay.
Mm.
That's my thinking.
They were working up to the wire on that game, eh? Just finishing up little touches
Witcher.
on which just making it perfect,
Well,
right up until
And
release.
to their credit, on release, I didn't have a single issue. It all worked perfectly. It was great.
But we'll save that for the Witcher 3
yeah.
discussion.
And it's safe.
Stick with Ubisoft for now. So those are the probables, the possibles.
Possible.
Oh, sorry, what? You want to talk about Assassins?
Yeah, let's talk about Assassins.
Okay, let's talk about Assassins.
Assassin's Creed. Syndicate.
Syndicate, alright.
So, 2 weeks ago we had the announcement, gameplay trailer and all that stuff
Yep,
come
big
up.
reveal.
Another Assassin's Creed. Another Call of Duty. What do you guys think about having another Assassin's Creed? I know you're a massive fan. I don't give a shit. What do you think about it?
I franchise fatigue just looking at it.
Yeah.
I've only ever played the first one. I enjoyed it, but I can see the joy that you get out of it, so I can understand like the fun of playing them every year or whatever when they come out.
It is every year at this stage.
But I don't know. I just look at it and I think I just want something else. I just want something new. And Ubisoft make great games. Let's not be silly about this. You know, they make fantastic games. They're always polished. They're always enjoyable to play. They usually got very good controls and mechanics and the gameplay elements. So I can see why you'd want to keep doing it. But I mean, how many iterations of something do you do before it just becomes tired and stale? You know. Are you feeling that yet?
Oh yeah. I was feeling that with Assassin's Creed 3, and that got sort of critically and from the fans as well a lot of bad sort of press. Black Flag reinvented the series for me and was amazing.
Yeah.
Just all the naval warfare stuff that they sort of really took from Assassin's Creed 3 and just made it. Well, there was more water in Assassin's Creed Black Flag than there was land, you know. So the ships were a huge part of it, and it was an awesome game.
But didn't they have the ships in part 3?
Yeah. The ships were in part 3, but they weren't utilised to the same extent. They were just there. They were like side missions in part 3, whereas obviously in Black Flag, you know, the going on land was the side mission really. Then they kind of rooted themselves with Unity, and they admitted it. Like they came out just recently and had a video that they've released, sort of admitting the fault that they had with Assassin's Creed Unity, an apology to the fans.
That was a classic. They didn't want to delay the game. That was an unfinished game.
Yeah.
That they hadn't finished up with their polished, and they brought it out when they promised, and it kind of failed.
Yeah.
So we just talked about that before. Maybe they needed to delay the game.
They should have delayed it.
They should have delayed it.
Yeah.
Because they did patch it afterwards. Like what? There was a. But what
the
what
game-
I don't like is that for like. I'm like James. I played I played the first one, thought it was cool. Second one, I just kind of got lost, and then as each game came out, I just kind of looked at it as a reskinning.
Yep.
It's like, oh, Assassin's Creed now with boats. Assassin's Creed now with this. But for them to bring out Unity, I could kind of see that they probably may have lost a bit of a fan base with Unity. I don't know. You've played it now, and it's all been kind of fixed. So you kind of
Yeah, but the game is still flawed. Like the game is still quite boring. And there's still heaps of problems with some of the game mechanics as well. Like the guy he's really hard to control. Like they've still sort of fucked it up. The only redeeming factor of Unity would be the world they've created. It looks beautiful. Paris is amazing, and that's about it. But being in there is kind of boring. and doing everything is kind of boring.
With all this like kind of fatigue, you're a massive fan. You're playing it, and you're just saying that this is kind of getting a bit boring for you. How do you feel about Syndicate now? Like it just seems like,
well,
I would like to see an Assassin's Creed in the future now. I'm kind of sick and tired of this past thing. I know that's kind of their style and their thing to do like retakes on history and stuff like that, but.
Is Watch Dogs not Assassin's Creed in the future?
Yeah, it could be, but it's called Watch Dogs, not Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Like, if they wanted to do that, why didn't they just give it a go?
I feel like they don't want to take Assassin's Creed into the future just yet. Especially seeing as a lot of his, I guess, core gameplay mechanics sort of revolve around the parkour and the free running and the climbing of the buildings and stuff. Can you imagine doing that in a present day, going through New York, climbing the sky? You'll be there for half an hour climbing your building.
No, like
in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where would you go after Victorian England?
Well, it's getting closer and closer to the present.
I can't see them going any further.
Your wish is coming true, I think.
It's the one set in China, isn't it? Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
Rogue?
yeah. Those are like little...
That's it.
No, Rogue isn't China. That's another pirate one. That was the 360 release.
What's the one set in China? With the girl.
Is that a mobile game?
Yeah, no, it's like an arcade game. There's one that's
like
set in Russia,
kinda like,
China,
it's like a
and another
2D
one,
yeah.
and it's like
Totally
side
different.
scroller. So
okay, spin off.
yeah, exactly. It's not quite the same.
So you're excited for the new one?
I'm excited for Assassin's Creed Syndicate because I agree with what you guys are saying about the fatigue of having these things every year, but the way I look at it is getting it every year is a bonus.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to devote these teams to making these games anyway because people are going to buy them anyway, so here it is. And it's a bonus that you get it. If you look at, like, say, the life cycle of other franchises, like, say, Halo, it's what, 2-3 year production cycle between each one? And in that, so that first game, 3 years later, you got that second game, and there's like a huge graphical leap, and everything's heaps better. They've had heaps of time to work on it. And again, you get another 3 years, that one's heaps better. That's kind of the way I look at Assassin's Creed. I kind of look at Assassin's Creed 2 as being the pinnacle of where it started, and it was awesome. And then it sort of went off, those, as you say, they were just reskinnings, nothing special. And then, boom, we had Black Flag, which reinvented it, came back with the next one. So it's almost like you can forget about those ones in the middle. And I feel like we've then had Unity and Rogue and all these other bullshit ones, these like 2D side-scrollers and things in the middle, and I feel like this Syndicate is them going to do their next reinvention of it again. To come back and here we go, here's the big leap forward in Assassin's Creed from Black Flag.
You talk about the big leaps. Why don't, like, I would say, why don't they take the risk of creating a whole new Assassin's Creed? You're saying reinventing and stuff. Why have these middle games that are coming out? Like, why not just take that big step? Or, like, why not get rid of the past and come up with the future? Or even create another IP?
But they do. Like, Watch Dogs is a new IP.
Yeah.
And that's basically Assassin's Creed in the future without the free running.
Same engine, yeah.
It's all money at the end of the day, though. They can make money off the name, and that's what they're doing. They can release even a substandard product to some degree, like Unity, and still make money out of it. It doesn't matter,
You're saying just because it says Assassin's Creed, it will sell?
Yeah, well, they won't be able to do it for long. Like, if Syndicate goes the way Unity did, I don't think there'll be another Assassin's Creed. I think this could make or break the franchise, to be honest. There was so much hate for Unity and for what Ubisoft sort of failed to do with that game.
Yeah.
That was a terrible year for Ubisoft.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are some exciting things to look forward to in Syndicate. Some of the things I've...
Just been begging.
Yeah, I know. But some of the things I'm really
what are the
excited
cool things?
about...
What should we be looking forward to?
I'm really excited about the ability to traverse the city faster, right? So there's trains, there's steamboats, and there's horse-drawn carriages. So you don't have to run everywhere now. So that's cool. And it's a bigger city as well. It's like 30% larger than Unity, so you're going to need to get around quicker.
So it's becoming Grand Theft Auto.
It's, basically, yeah. Another thing, the ability to traverse the buildings faster, because you now got like a rope launcher.
Yeah,
oh yes, I saw that in the trailer. Yeah,
you can use that to go up. You can use it to create a zip line and go across. So more just faster traversal.
So it's becoming like Batman.
It's it's emulating, as you just said, two of the greatest games, Grand Theft Auto and Batman, are now feeling like they're being emulated into this.
Are they still going to have the boats and the naval?
No, I think they just lost that with Black Flag.
Yeah, I think that's gone. That would need to be
Does
split off.
that feel like a step back then?
Well, they lost it even with Unity. There was no boats.
Oh right, of course. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't play Unity.
Yeah, it's kind of stuck in the setting.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
no,
There's
which
not
is
much
fine,
they
which
could
is
do.
cool.
That pirate theme was awesome,
Yeah,
but they
yeah,
could only do
the
it once.
pirates
Really.
right, yeah, the
Rogue
pirates
is-
really cool.
Rogue's got the boats still.
Mm.
The other thing I'm really looking forward to is the ability to switch between the characters. You've got the two main characters, Jacob and Evie Fry, and we get a female protagonist as well, which is great. They've done that before in like
Grand Theft Auto.
no, I mean they've had a female protagonist in Assassin's Creed before, but it was like a spin-off,
Yeah.
not a main solid entry in the series like this is.
Is she gonna be an assassin or is she just a thug?
They're both he's like the thug, even though they're both assassins, but he's more thuggish because it's all like
Okay.
gangs of New York style, gangs of London, and he's real thuggish, and they're both part of this gang.
So you
called the
can
Rooks or
change on the
whatever.
fly? Or
Yeah,
just
in
missions,
open world
or-
gameplay you can change on the fly, but during missions I guess it's probably going to be specific to certain characters.
Hold
It's
down
becoming
L to
quite
push left.
popular, isn't it? The idea of being able to play multiple characters, like the new Batman, you can be Batgirl and stuff.
Yeah,
and-
switch between them as well.
yeah, it's interesting.
There's a stealth button this time. I think this is the first time they've had a stealth button in the series. You actually
What
press
is
a
this?
button
Yeah.
and go into stealth. Every other time you literally just walk up to a wall and go vroom and blend into it, or you walk up to a crowd of people and you blend into them naturally, and so shit happens without you necessarily wanting it to happen.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
This allows you to, he takes off his top hat, pulls over his hood and enters stealth mode, and then is creeping, and you can actually control the way you hide and move within the environment stealthily. So, yes, that's a long time coming.
Okay.
And my favourite thing about it is there's no multiplayer.
No.
Yeah.
Your
Absolutely.
favourite thing? I thought you were really into the multiplayer.
I liked the multiplayer from previous, not Unity, not the co-op multiplayer, because
Black Flag?
yeah, but from Black Flag and stuff like that sort of game of cat and mouse and all that. It's quite fun. But I just like the idea that they're focusing solely on a single player campaign.
Yeah.
Not many companies do that anymore, and I think they're going to win. You know, if they can put all their eggs into that basket. I'm excited to see what they now do.
Cool.
So yeah, those are the things I'm most excited about for Assassin's Creed, and I think hopefully they can pull it off.
Hopefully.
Other things possibly we're going to see in the Ubisoft conference are Watch Dogs Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a huge lot of excitement. I don't think that game...
It sold incredibly well.
It did, but
It's a game that failed.
yeah, I
especially on
don't
PC.
think it grabbed people as what, when you look at what
they
people's-
did the announcement thing as well. It was like they showed the trailers. The trailers looked awesome. The game was cool. I got excited for it.
Yeah.
I was surprised at
I think
in the gameplay trailer how awesome it looked, and I don't think it delivered.
No,
So I
it
think
didn't.
going on the over promising.
Yeah, well, there was the
Yeah.
big hoo-ha about the graphic downgrade, and then when it came out on PC, some guy within the first 3 days or something found the E3 settings and the coding,
Oh,
so
really?
you could re-enable all those all the settings that you saw in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still didn't look as good though, and then they even patched it so you couldn't use them, and oh yeah, it was just
All the fog and
that whole year was
yeah.
a disaster for Ubisoft.
Oh, jeez. But with that, like, do you think they can bring it back with Watch Dogs 2? Do you think?
I still haven't
Yeah,
even played
no?
it. I haven't even played it. The
Yep.
first one. Don't care.
Yeah.
It was.
I
so
kind of
huge.
looked at it as a poor man's GTA.
Yeah, I can see that.
It is. It's like I said before. It's hard when there are other games now that are so similar,
Yeah.
and they just do it bigger and better. Like our gaming time is limited now that we're older and we're getting more responsibilities as these 30-somethings, and we want experiences that are the best. We don't want the second rate.
But
like
Grand
you
Theft
said,
Auto
Grand
only
Theft
comes out every 5 years. Ubisoft will do
Yeah,
this every year.
but
for
how
us.
long does that game?
But I like that because they take that time for GTAs. You get excited for that. When you get a game that comes out every year, like we were saying, they're rushed. They're not putting their eggs in the right baskets. They're too busy coming out with the two games with the multiplayer as well. I think they just need general focus, which is why I think GTA did so well. It's not there every year.
Yeah.
It only comes out once at a time. People were lining up for GTA. I haven't seen
Made
that
it-
in ages.
Made over $1 billion.
Yeah.
Ubisoft probably doesn't do that.
Yeah, just where I work, like there were lines going out of the store for
Yeah.
GTA, and
Yeah.
I just thought, wow, I haven't seen this much excitement for a game, and they did so well with their announcements and what they were going to do and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm off track.
I was like, what the fuck was they talking about?
No, but it's interesting though because it's kind of scary in some ways because are these companies just really going to go for these big, huge releases now, and these other games are going to take a second kind of tier because if it's not a big, huge franchise that does well, like how Square Enix when Tomb Raider came out, didn't make as much money as they hoped it would make, but then they had these unrealistic expectations of how much money it should make, when it actually still made a hell of a lot of money, and it did really well. And I mean, in terms of a reboot, that game is fantastic.
Oh, awesome.
oh,
I
yeah.
loved it.
And I'm really excited for the next one. But they still see it as a failure in terms of their money making, and it's like, well,
You're here
Come
to
on,
make
but-
games. Like, it's not all about money.
well, it has to be.
No,
They have to be.
It's business.
They
yeah,
have to They have to make money, but they also have to think about establishing a future as well. You know, like for a franchise or for so it's not just a flash in the pan. You know, you just release this game. Oh yeah, it's not that good. We'll push that one to the side and focus back on this one now, or we'll reboot this, or we'll remaster that. And it's like, oh god, like you just. We're losing that middle ground. We're losing that nice middle ground we had before. You're getting these other games that were not big budget, not indie, but that middle tier of games that we just like, the 7 out of 10s.
Yeah.
That were good to play, weren't great, but were still enjoyable. And that's what we're slowly going to lose those, which is kind of concerning, really.
It's almost like every game that comes out has to be a AAA title for them to do well.
Yeah.
Which is why I think indie games are doing so well. There's less risk.
Oh yeah.
Less risk. They don't have to pour money in, and then if it does well, like a lot of those games like Journey and Flower, those games were just one of those, let's do this for fun, and they made a killing just because they're real simple.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just fun, really. That's all it is. At the end of the day, just come up with something fun.
Well, we'll see what they do. I'm sure there'll be a Watch Dogs 2. The first one was very successful. Splinter Cell. I'm hoping there's going to be a Splinter Cell announcement. Rayman. End War 2. Another Ghost Recon, possibly. Far Cry. There was a Far Cry...
Really?
That Far Cry
Really?
3 Blood Dragon thing that was sort of announced.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and now I've had Far Cry 4. I'm wondering if there'll be another Far Cry
Another
4
spin-off.
Blood Dragon-y
Yeah.
thing.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I thought they did that with the Yeti one.
That was just DLC, wasn't it? Because Blood
Was it?
Dragon was a standalone...
Yeah, but that's
Thing.
what the Yeti one was, wasn't it? It was its own map. It wasn't a...
Oh, you could download that individually, could
No,
you?
no,
without owning the
it was
game?
still DLC, but
Oh.
it wasn't part of the story. It was actually... It's
Oh, okay.
individual.
Well, yeah, maybe that was their vision for that then. I
Yeah,
haven't
and-
played it.
But, no, I haven't either.
I guess because that's quite fantastical as well, throwing in the Yetis and...
But that Blood Dragon was cool, man. That was awesome.
Prince of Persia. Do you think we could see... it has been a very, very long time since Prince of Persia game.
Yeah, they'd have to kind of reboot it, but I guess Assassin's Creed in some ways has taken that thing in some ways. There's a bit of crossover there, I don't know.
There is.
They're almost identical.
Yeah.
I love Prince of Persia. All those Prince of Persia games I really, really enjoyed. I'd love to see that come back.
If they went back to kind of the puzzle solving mechanic of the original ones instead of the flashy flipping and slow motion with the Sands of Time thing, I think you could probably get something going again.
Yeah.
I'd love to see like one of those 2D/3D kind of hybrid type games like a Shadow Complex or whatever, in a Metroidvania type Prince of Persia. That would be
Like the
fantastic.
original Prince of Persia,
Yeah, going back
2D
to
side-scroller.
with awesome graphics and nice puzzles and
That was good. The remake they did of that.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. I'd play that, and just as an arcade type game, that'd be cool.
I really enjoyed the first Prince of Persia they released on the 360, the cel-shaded version. That was freaking awesome. It was so fun to play. And that was puzzle-based.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's got to be, the pressure pads and the spikes and
All that jazz,
getting
yeah.
through, trying to open this door to this door. That's what I found fun about the originals, anyway.
All right, so that's about all we have time for this week. We'll catch you again in a fortnight as usual. You'll be getting these episodes coming up throughout the week, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you'll be getting the full episode on Saturday. If you have any suggestions, recommendations for things you want to hear us talk about, just leave them in the comments below. Also, hit us up on Twitter, #4NZGamers. Is that it? Or 4NZGamers? I don't know how this Twitter thing works, but we're going to figure it out. So, on behalf of Dave and the two Jameses, I've been Phil Brooks, and this has been 4NZ Gamers.
Peace.
See you.